do it all our way, and I can't forget the bug on the highway.
Shout out to Rhode Island.
Where you at? Where you at?
Shout out to Rhode Island.
Where you at?
Shout out to Rhode Island.
Where you at? Where you at?
Shout out to Rhode Island. Shout out to Rhode Island. Shout out to Swanati and Chachi, my brother Eighth Wonder. See Roman Rock, tell him bring back the funk funker. J Sonic, Mechalek, and my man Joey Beats. You can catch me up at Snookers with Sneak Technique. Your boy App's doing good, hope I made y'all proud. Man, if Curdy Cut could only see me now. Saw Sturby at Jerky's, all my crew. At one point or another, rock RIU.
Gotta say, if it wasn't for 90.3, your boy E might not even be an MC. Got so many friends from Prop to C-Town. Been so long, kinda hard to speak now. You know who you are, and you know where I keep you. Keep this in mind till the next time I see you. From every flow to every show, I feel the Narragansett breeze till my memory
Shout out to Rhode Island.
Where you at? Where you at?
Shout out to Rhode Island.
Where you at?
Shout out to Rhode Island.
Where you at? Where you at?
Shout out to Rhode Island. Shout out to Rhode Island.
Oh shit. Rhode Island. Rhode Island. My second home right there. Shout out to my people. Vertigo. CR. Joey Wonk. Shout out to Japan and Fed Hill.
Shout out to Fed Hill in Japan, man. Japan's out there in Hawaii right now, doing his thing. But a lot of people, if you know Rhode Island hip hop, Fed Hill's been I had Ali Pone on here, and about 3 decades, Fed Hill goes back in Rhode Island hip hop. And Ali Pone said we was posting on people's walls and for real. And he was right. They was posting Fed Hill stickers all over the city. Like, you could probably still go to gas stations today and you'll see Fed Hill was here. There'll be a sticker somewhere. But salute to Fed Hill, Japan. I actually open up with a couple of my shows in memory of Richie Rags, who was a member of Fed Hill. He was a local artist. See, up in the right-hand corner, it actually says, these are all dedicated to Richie Rags, man. What's up, Coach Goodhart? How we doing?
What is up, Mikey? I'm doing pretty good.
Give you a little education in some Rhode Island hip-hop,
I'm from Maine, so every education I can get about Rhode Island, I'll take.
There we go. But you are actually pretty educated with the local history of, like when we have these conversations. Look at that. Facebook you said, that's my dude, Coach Goodhart. Salute. But you always tell me, some pretty interesting stuff about stats of Coventry, about the history of Coventry. How did you come to know all that?
I always tell you I'm a weird cat, man. So
got that right.
I'm I'm not from here, from
Earth, you mean?
Yeah, maybe. I'm a little out there, but I'm from Maine, and I was in the service and stuff, and the way I was kind of what was instilled in me is to learn your surroundings. So right when I moved to Rhode Island, I was told to research it, and I want to know a little bit about it, and I moved to Coventry, and I want to know what I was getting myself into, and I take in numbers. I'm good with numbers, I guess, and it just kind of sticks in my head. So I always spout those things off, and it's not like I'm making it up. It's just stuck in there. If I read it, it's usually in there for a little while.
And you've been good with the numbers at Coventry as well with the kids. You come in, you take over for, when Stanley Dunbar left to go to Westerly. A lot of people know the story. You came in, you took over, as the coach. Stanley spoke highly of you, and you win a championship. But you definitely give Coach Dunbar his praise.
Yeah, me and Stan, we're still cool. We're always going to be cool. He's a great guy. To me, I'll say it over and over again. I think Stanley's the best young offensive mind in the whole state of Rhode Island. I don't think he gets his credit. He's doing a great thing with Westerly. He's got a lot of good talent down there, and I think this year is Wesley's year, and I think Stan's going to get it done. He's a good guy, good coach, and I think, not to take away from the kids, but, Stan's my friend, so I think he deserves it. He does a lot of hard work. He's doing a lot of good things for the state of Rhode Island and the kids of Rhode Island, put on the breakthrough and doing travel teams and all these other things he's doing. And I know there's some people out there, they may not like it because they're trying to do the same thing or whatever, but Stan deserves his credit. He's a good guy, and he's trying to do the right thing by the kids.
Yeah, no, salute to Coach Dunbar. I know he was on the show last night. Go back and check that out. But even though we got the victory, Coach Dunbar sounded pissed. He even went on the he even said, if I say what I want to say, I might get fined. The officiating was horrible at the Charahoe Westerly game. Bulldogs end up winning 33-21. Excuse me, sorry about that. Yeah, they end up winning 33-21, and I take nothing away from the Charahoe kids, but there was a lot of crazy calls in that game. You ever see a 3-hour high school football game? That game was over 3 hours, bro.
Yeah, it's both sides. Like it's tough. Not the teams. We got a shortage of refs, and not blowing smoke, but the refs are gonna they're gonna do the best they can. They got a job to do. I'm sure they got mouths to feed, and this isn't an easy thing to do. Be it a coach, a player, a part of the community, or being a part of the ref crew. Not sticking up for them, but hey, it's not an easy job. You got fans yelling at you, you got coaches yelling at you, you got pissed off players. You're trying to watch 22 guys on the field at a given time on a given play. It's not an easy job. They're gonna miss stuff. Sometimes you got to learn from your mistakes. If you're the ref, you can't make the same mistake over and over again. But you gotta understand. Like I see it, and we all get for hell. I get pissed off. I get pissed off real bad. But I try to understand. Like they're just human. They're gonna make mistakes, and there's a lot of moving parts. They got a job to do. They're getting paid to do it, but they're not gonna be perfect. It sucks, but it's just the way it is.
No, they are not. And listen, everybody, there's an EWG Davies game right now. And the last score update I got, EWG was up on Davies 12-8. I'm trying to get that link up on the screen for you guys. But Digital Real Production, they have it's a new platform that's out. They're recording games, so go check them out. I was just checking out a little bit of the game while we was off the screen, but yeah, definitely. And another game today that's going to be on NFHS, Bishop Hendricken at Londonderry's coming down to Rhode Island from New Hampshire. We had Coach Jim Lazan. He was on earlier in the season. So both them coaches are going to be on the show later today. So we're going to have Keith Croft is going to make his podcast debut. I've been trying to get Keith up here for a minute, and we're going to talk a little bit post-game, Gary, so.
I think it's going to be great for the state of Rhode Island. I think it's even cool, too, because if we can, set this precedent now and, New Hampshire year in and year out, because Mass doesn't want to play those schools. I know New Hampshire schools right now, they're going up and playing schools from Maine, which is great. There's a good crossover. New Hampshire's trying to, branch out because Mass doesn't want to play them. So that's a good spot for Rhode Island to jump in there and get those crossover games. I think it's just really good for both states.
Yeah, from what I understand, that they don't want to play because Mass teams will not get the points in their point system if they compete with an out-of-state team.
Yeah, no, that's the whole thing, is that point system. And I don't know if it's been talked about, but the RIIL is like trying to push to go towards that for the state of Rhode Island, which I don't think we shouldn't do what Massachusetts is doing. That just seems what they're always doing. If Mass is doing something, Rhode Island seems to just jump on board and say, oh, they're doing it, we may as well just do what they're doing. But that's not what's good for them isn't good for us. I wish we could just keep what we're doing and then, mix and match the teams at the division they should be in and, go from there. But I don't think that system will really work here. And I just don't think it will benefit everybody, to be honest. But, I could be wrong. I think crossover games with New Hampshire, potentially Vermont, and even Maine, if teams are willing to, would be the right thing to do. The smaller states should just play the smaller states, and that should just be the crossover. And that I think that'd be more exciting. I think like with the state of Maine, they have a thing called the Lobster Bowl, where they do the senior all-star game. It's a huge event in Maine. New Hampshire does the Maple Bowl or whatever, where they cross over and play Vermont, but they beat Vermont for like 18 straight years. Maybe it's time Rhode Island steps up and we go challenge New Hampshire for all-star supremacy. Who's the best senior team in New England between those two schools? I think that'd be cool. Let's go bring our best and go challenge their best and go whoop them.
Yeah, that would be crazy. Update to the Davies EWG game. Davies 22, EWG 12, and
that escalated quickly.
Yes, the score definitely changed pretty fast. I'm gonna put the link to that up on the screen. Give me 1 second. So, Coach, good job, man. Tell us about your game last night. You started off against Cranston East, if I'm not mistaken. How did that game go?
Can I backpedal a little bit?
Yes, definitely, please.
So I think we're gonna go back to last week. We got beat up pretty good against Cranston West. The final score was 13-0, 12-0, whatever it was. That wasn't good at all. And I just like to say I take full responsibility for that game because my head wasn't totally in the game. No excuses. They not take nothing away from Cranston West, but I had a lot of personal things going on in that entire week, and I just couldn't focus completely on that game. And then this past week, got to all of those personal things that were going on. It was not on my shoulders, and the things weren't weighing. So I got to actually be a coach this week, and with nothing holding me back, and the team performed really well. And personally, I got to perform a little bit, to where I should have been last week, but I just couldn't do it. And last night, team played pretty good. We ended up winning 38-12. It was a good game. Cranston East is a tough group of kids. Those kids are so damn fast. Like, it's unbelievable how quick those kids are. And we were just really lucky to play well, come out healthy, and it was a hard fought game, but we got the win. Yeah,
I seen the score. Cranston East, and respect to them, but they got starting the season. At the end of last season, I did my top 11 high school football coaches, and to begin this season, I want to do my bottom 11, and they are definitely in that conversation as one of the bottom 11 high school football programs, coming from where they were to where they are going. So I don't know what they need to do to fix it. This is my opinion, not Coach Goodhart's opinion. What they have to figure out a way to get that ship turned around, because they're not playing very good football. A lot of problems over there. So let's get back on to Cranston East. So tell us about the game. How did the game go? Well, I didn't have a chance to watch the game. So tell us a couple highlights.
We scored 38 points.
That's a big highlight.
Our defense had a shutout. We had our quarterback threw a pick six, which was devastating. To start the game, we kicked off the ball. They went, I think it was in the third play of the game, they threw a pick to us. We marched down, we scored on a pass, missed the extra point. We kicked off, played pretty good defense, ended up marching right back down the field. We ended up scoring on a rush. I think we QB sneak, I think it was. And then we went for two, got it. We got a pretty good freshman running back he carried the load for us last night. And for a freshman to be able to do what he did last night goes to show what kind of kid he is and what kind of talent he has. But last night, going into that second quarter, we were trying to go on two because their linemen, you could tell they're cramping up. Like, everybody was just cramping up last night. So we knew if we went on two, the way that their stance was, it was going to be an easy jump, and we'd get a free 5. But our center, he snapped on color instead of on two, and that kind of when they go on color, you're supposed to go on 2, and the quarterback ends up the ball in his hands. Quarterback, instead of making a great play, he ended up just throwing the ball quick when the receivers are still on the line waiting for the cadence. And even though he should have been watching the ball, not waiting for the cadence, that's on me for not being a better coach on that aspect. But threw the ball right to the Cranston East kid. Kid made a great play. And the kid is so damn fast that, regardless, he was in the open field. He was gone regardless. We ended up blocking their extra point, which was good. So we kept it. It was 14-6 at that point. And then we scored again somewhere just before half, because I'm pretty sure it was 20-6 at half. And then that second half, we really took off. It was 22-6, whatever it was. But we ended up just playing pretty well. But then all of our kids started cramping in the second half. It was just like, I don't know what the heck was going on, what was in the air, what was in the water. But we've never had kids cramping like that before. It was unreal. Both sides of the ball, over the East kids and our kids, our kids were just laying out. There'd be a play would happen, and one of their kids would be on the ground cramped. One of our kids would be on the ground cramped. Like, what the hell is going on here? But the second half, they end up bringing a kickoff back to the house, and that really sucked. And then blocked their extra point again, I believe. And then our freshman running back ended up scoring on like a 65-yard touchdown, and got the 2-point conversion. And we got a kid named Tommy Turner, who's one hell of an athlete himself. He ended up scoring on a nice touchdown too. So,
Well, I heard that name before, Tommy Turner.
yeah,
Salute to Will, Will's little brother.
Got a scholarship to UConn for baseball. So, I mean, he's one hell of an athlete. Like, if you saw him, he's 5'10", 5'11", 195 pounds of muscle, and he throws a ball 97 miles an hour. So it's pretty good.
In the background, you can see actually digital reel production, the Davies EWG game, and I have on the bottom, you can actually copy the link and go watch this game right now. But Davies is up 22-12. But we're talking to Coach Goodhart about his Coventry game. Coach Goodhart, I noticed that you take a lot of heat. Like, you give yourself a lot of heat and criticism when things don't go well on the football field.
Yeah, Coach Carp tells me I'm too hard on myself. Everybody that's kind of in our crew, I was like, dude, you got the kids have responsibility, but as a head coach, we're the adults. Like, I like to feel like if we didn't perform well in a game, or if we made mistakes, it was because we didn't coach them the right way, or maybe we didn't do something good at that week in practice, or something. So I take the responsibility as the head coach. I'm overall in charge. So if we're doing something wrong, or we're not doing something good, whatever it is, it's on my shoulders that we didn't get it done. I'm probably my hardest critic. I give, and like, not tooting my own horn, because it's not like a brag or anything, but like, I'm harder on myself than I think anybody could be on me. I'm just like, I don't think anything will ever be good enough for that we did good enough. My kids always do great. If we win, I want no praise. If we lose, I want all the recognition for the loss. So I'm pretty tough on myself.
I mean, you were like that on a few games last season. And salute to you, because win, lose, you always willing to give us the time and come on the show. So
even last year when Glasgow shredded us 50-12, I didn't want to come on, but I did.
Salute to guys like you, Coach Dunbar, Coach Wes Pennington, and we're gonna get a little bit into West Warwick in a few minutes, But yeah, salute to all you coaches, and I want to say a big thank you to all the people out there that send me in scores for the last couple of weeks. It's been actually a little overwhelming how much the community has helped, but I couldn't do it really without good coaches like Coach Goodhart, Coach Pennington, Coach Dunbar, Coach Fortin, Eddie Insco, Anthony Alejandro lately, without great coaches that help out the podcast. So, Coach Goodhart, I want to say thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Hey, Mike, when I was having a tough week last week, you reached out to me, and, you're a good friend. You know, you're a good guy. You said if anyone need to talk or anything like that, you know, I appreciate that more than you know. So thank you.
And I meant it, and that's the thing. Sometimes we don't reach out to our friends and our associates and say, "Hey, how are you doing?" It seems like they only call when they want something, and you should do that. And especially men, you always keep everything bottled up inside. And I knew Coach Goodhart was going through a tough time, and I said, "Hey, do you need to talk?" Yeah, I mean, if you want to talk, we get your head off your problems, and but that's what we should do for each other, Coach. And I meant it, So
Appreciate
thank
that,
you.
man. It was nice. I needed that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So people go over there and check out that game, digital, real production, all Coventry's games. Let's talk about some of your newcomers into the program, some of your freshmen. We could start off with Jones kid.
Cam Jones, yeah, no, he's a freshman quarterback. His dad's a very good sized man, and Cam is already a really good sized freshman, and he's only going to get bigger. I mean, his dad every bit of 6'2", like 230, 235. His dad's a very, very big dude, and Cam's growing, and he's got a really good arm. He's a good athlete. He was at at middle school last year. He was in the Southern Division in track, and I'm pretty sure he was one of the top sprinters in his division. I think he did the hurdles in the 100 or something like that, and he did the javelin, turbo jab or whatever it was, and he was doing pretty good in that too. So Cam Jones is going to be really good. Even we got another freshman quarterback in Cole Sanderson, and not only is he a state champion wrestler, but he's a really good leader. All these kids, like every kid has like a different skill set, and Cole Sanderson is just he's got that leadership quality. And you can tell when he talks, everybody listens. It's one of the cool things that you get to watch these young guys when you look at their attributes and the things that they're good at, the things that they can build off. And I don't know how you can really install like true leadership. I think you're born with it. You either have that trait where you can just take command and you're confident, and he's got it. He just really has that quality about himself. He's just willing to talk. He's willing to get guys in line, and his teammates respect him, and so they do it. We got a lot of young guys that came in. We got some name you guys may remember. Jaden Carnival, who was a really good running back for us last year and linebacker. He was the MVP of the Super Bowl actually when he was a junior. His younger brother's a freshman. He's not quite Jaden yet, but he's bigger than Jaden. He's gonna be bigger than Jaden for sure. But he asks a lot of questions, and he's a good athlete. Also, one of those wrestling kids. I always love having those wrestling kids coming out from football because they're just tough. My kids laugh at me. I always say you got to be tougher than a $2 steak, and they always laugh about that. So one of my kids last night actually was like, "Hey, coach, I think I'm more like a $20 steak. I don't know how tough I am, but it's one of those things." I actually stole that from Jim Ross. I was a huge wrestling fan when I was a kid, and he used to say Stone Cold was tougher than a $2 steak, and I always liked that saying. I didn't make that up. So some people are like, "Oh man, that's a good. Where'd you get that from?" I always tell them wrestling. They always think I'm crazy, but
there we go, Coach Goodhart. You got a few minutes. I want to go over some scores. I'm gonna play a quick video. Do you have time?
Yeah, sure.
All right, stand by. Let me get this video queued up. See, we're one-man band over here. We're doing everything. We're the production team. We got it all.
Less people you got to pay.
Yeah, thank God. Thank God. But let me get this right here.
Let's go, come take a ride through my city life. See what my city's like. It's the city life. For some, it's a shitty life. This is city living. Mostly them city children. From my bedroom, see the lights of them city buildings. Ain't gotta act hard. Pride is my backyard. I run road out, you can call me a track star. And we a team, homie, all is one. I don't sleep until all is done. I ain't ruckus, so please don't call me Mr. 401. It's Mr. Rags, you can call me. I'm still in that 401. From where we was, look at all we become. For what it's worth.
All right, there we are. There we are. We back. Let me get the scores up. Yeah, we had some good games yesterday. Some games we expected. Salute. Let's go before. Let's go back a couple of days. Situate cancels the Mount Pleasant game for good reason. That game should have never been scheduled in the first place. You can't take a team like Situate that was struggling and put them up against a team like Mount Pleasant. I don't think they're ready for that. So because they canceled that game, they scheduled a preseason competition, like an injury fun type game with Shea High School. And granted, okay, maybe it was the JV team. Situate goes up there and they give Shea a run for it. They beat Shea pretty good. And I was surprised by that. I really was, because I don't think on any day, even the JV game should have been able to beat Situate at that point. So salute to Situate for being able to play a well balanced game against a team like Shea and their staff. So I just want to give Situate their love while we start this off. And I was looking over some of the Situate stuff, Coach Goodhart, and I think with the new coach that was at Shea for a long time, maybe his style of play they had to adapt to. But what do you think about the Situate program and where they're heading?
Well, if you can keep up with an athletic team like Shea and win, regardless if it's JV or not, because they got stud athletes on their JV. Let's just be realistic. Well, good on you. Kudos to that staff for getting a win, regardless if you're going against a JV team or not. That JV team's probably pretty good. So whatever they're doing, they're going in the right direction. If they can get a win against a team like Shea, if you have kids on your team, if you're getting kids set up and you're setting them up for success and able to play against a team like that, then they're heading in the right direction.
Yeah, definitely. And they have 2 starting freshmen, 6 sophomores. It's definitely a learning curve. Coach Damon was saying, he said that, it is kind of a culture shock at the moment, but he's going to change the culture up there in Situate and bring a positive vibe. He went on to tell me that his left side of the O-line, never really played before the injury fun game, and Coach Piver said something similar. I said, who is a scout player of the game? And he said, really, I got freshmen that are starting, so maybe they should be scout players, but to stay focused on Situate, I think these kids are working very hard and they're starting to buy into what Coach Damon Scarduzio is bringing up there to Situate, and I think it's well needed.
Yeah, no, I mean if they're getting wins and you're teaching them and coaching the right way, then after so long, all those wins will keep coming. You just got to keep on grinding and just keep working, keep your head down, just keep doing the job, keep those kids invested and involved, and good things happen.
Yeah, no, definitely. Rhodey and Bryant matches up today. Let's tune in real quick and see what is going on at the EWG Davies game. Looks like the score is still 22-12. It's nice. What do you think about all the live streaming that's going on now with high school football?
It. I mean, you got the fans only sport. They had theirs on the other day, so you could watch the Cranston West versus West Warwick game. Not gonna even. I know I don't want to say anything bad, but I think the commentators are kind of Cranston West homers. It is what it is, but other than that, it's nice that they do that stream. This one's really nice. I could go without the commentators or whatever personally, but if they're good, if they're gonna be, they're gonna be right down the middle. That's one thing. But I'm really happy that they give these options to having the live stream, because there's a lot of people out there in other states or in this state that just can't make it to the game, but they still want to watch it.
Yeah, I love the commentator, Greg Morano, even though I can't stomach the company he's with, Westerly Live. You know, I'll say it straight up, when they talk, I don't hear words, I hear hissing. You know what I mean? Straight up snakes. But Greg aside, I think he's a great commentator. He knows football. Like, I think maybe he says the DI formation, they're setting up here. Sometimes
That,
he's
damn,
even calling the plays.
one heck of a run right there.
Yes, definitely. The score is 22-12. Go to Digital Real and see what they have going on. We're definitely a supporter of Digital Real production. So yeah, let them, do some live streaming, fans
Are they
only
only gonna
sports.
do? Are they only gonna do EWG games, or are they gonna try to span out and do other games too?
Well, I think that's the idea. That's they would like to span out and do other games also, but I think right now they're committed to EWG people, so but yeah, they're trying to get advertisement, and so let's go. And over time he'll figure this out too. Instead of the timeouts, what you do is you go to a nice little video, kind of like he's doing. Put different spots in there. We're gonna exchange. I told him, that he could do some stuff on my show, and
To do a couple of sponsors in there, like
exactly, and I'll play this spot for him, and so salute to him. We should all
yeah,
get along and not be hating on each other, because once you hate on me, I'm gonna hate on you, and it's just gonna go back and forth. And like I say, if you don't got my back, I'm on your back.
hey, there's not enough love in this world. We got so much hate, you know.
Yeah, for sure, man. But we'll check back in on this game in a little bit. But salute to him, Digital Real, Bishop Hendricken game between Londonderry coming down to Rhode Island. I think fans should show up to that game. I was so trying to get that game maybe at a neutral, like at a maybe Bryant or URI. I think would have been good, and make it on a day, or not even Bryant or URI. They should have just made it on a day where it's solely Bishop Hendricken, Londonderry, and not other games going on around high school football. Because that way, Rhode Island could have showed up. You know, that's a Rhode Island thing. But that's
Yeah,
great. That's great to get relationships with some of these programs. But let me get to the scores over here. Oh, the Thursday
yeah.
night show, Gary, is great, man. With the coaches making the picks, that's awesome.
I'm hoping I finish as the number one. Finish, that's the goal.
That is the goal, yeah. He wants you want another ring, huh?
Trying to get a couple.
Nice. So some of the scores that we already know the outcome of the West Warwick game. Great game, 30-27, fourth quarter. A lot of coaches, I think, in that situation that Coach Pennington was in, because of the delay of game penalty, it becomes 4th and 11. Do you think some coaches would have maybe went for it and not punted the ball, seeing it's right around a minute left of the game? And, because you give the ball back, they need a touchdown to win the game. Coach Pennington punts the ball. His defense contains them, even knock them back to the 1 yard line. Do you think other coaches might have decided, what have you done in that situation?
I mean, they were up 30-27 at that point, right? And
Yes.
I think his defense was in that get to like the midway point of the third quarter to the fourth quarter, the whole fourth quarter, they just dominated the entire game. So they had all the momentum. There was as soon as DeAndre Chase scored that touchdown on the kickoff return, that's when all like the tide shift because you could just see the West Warwick sideline. They got pumped up. The kids on the field, they were pumped up. And I think that the West kids were just completely deflated. So West Warwick had them just locked down right then. There's the deflation of the Cranston West sideline was as visible as anything you've ever seen. So I think it was the perfect decision. It was a great coaching decision to punt right there, because you knew your defense was going to hold up and your defense was going to just show out right then, because that was the shining point. The defense was crushing it right then. They had a pick six not too far before that, and they were just all over that quarterback. And that quarterback's a sophomore, so I'm not saying he rattles easy, because he's a really phenomenal athlete. But when you got those big West Warwick kids just running at you, and it's a different animal out there when you're a senior than you are a sophomore. So I think they rattled him, and not to mention they were some of those Cranston West kids, they were dropping, and they were losing kids left and right. I think there was 2 kids down on one of the kickoff returns, 2 kids laid on the field. A kid on their sideline, I think if you go back and watch, there's a time kid went to make a tackle and he flew like out of bounds, out of control, took like 1 or 2 of their kids out of bounds, and those kids were done. And number 21, that Stetson, you didn't see him for like the whole third and fourth quarter. So I was trying to figure out why he wasn't in. Number 57, their linebacker wasn't in. So there's a lot of things that happened, but it was pretty evident that West Warwick took control of that game at the second half.
Now, let me ask you, Coach, with guys coming out, do you think that's a mixture of not hydrating all day and then coming to the game and then you start hydrating? Because that's not going to work, right? You have to hydrate all week, not just game time.
No, we it kind of kicked us in the pants last night. The cramping thing, never seen it before, never really had that happen. But
you had that situation last season. I thought we talked about. I thought you made a funny comment that I think Jaden, you said, went down with the funniest thing. You thought something severely bad happened to him. Santilli,
that kid, I'll tell you, I love him. I love that kid, but boys, he's soft as baby poop. He would. There was a time we were playing Cranston East last year, and he got a cramp, and he was screaming bloody murder. It was like he just broke his femur, and I get over to him, run over, thinking the worst. He's like, cramp. I'm like, oh my God, dude. And his dad was so mad. I felt so bad for his dad. His dad's like, you can tell, like completely devastated. His son's hurt. And I went over to tell him, like, no, it's just a cramp. And it went from like being devastated to disappointed. Like, I can't believe that's my son screaming like that. But
yeah, you kind of made it was kind of funny.
Oh yeah, no. Sometimes you get these kids, and that's one of those things. Like we do all that off-season training and conditioning for a reason, and part of that has to be talking about nutrition and proper hydration and stuff like that. Like, because our bodies are just machines. Our bodies are an engine. If you put bad gas in an engine over time, or if you don't put oil in it and you just don't take care of it, over time it just can't sustain. So like our bodies are the same way. If we're not putting the right fuel in it, we're not constantly hydrating, we just, our bodies can't run to the maximum potential. And a lot of that stuff goes with coaching and trying to get our kids. And last night, yet again, I take responsibility for my kids cramping up, and for whatever reason, like we harp on them. And I mean, I visibly saw them drinking water yesterday and the day before, and every day we do water breaks. They got to bring their water with them to every drill, but never seen them before in my life. We had like 8 kids cramping up. It's deflating for a coach as well to have them cramping when you're teaching those things.
Talk about deflating for a coach. You would think in this situation, the coaches are there with their arms folded. No wonder this is happening.
He is gone.
Gone.
GAWN, gone.
There is no coaching up on that sideline. There's no, like, I don't know. But what do I know? I am USA football certified. Just saying. But I would definitely, I was just looking at it and I was like, you see the disgust on one coach's face. Like, I so want to root for these kids because I love these kids, Gary. I watched these kids. I covered this team for a couple of seasons with Coach Fortin. Great kids. But to tell them that if you talk to Mikey, you get benched. You go on that podcast. I wrote a nice comment about a kid and he was like, bro, can you take that down, please? I'll get benched. And I was like, are you serious? What I mean?
Where I come from, when I first got into coaching, I was really fortunate to have a guy see potential in me for whatever reason, and he taught me a lot of things, and I try to emulate him every time and every day. And he always said the same thing over and over again. I mean, well, there's like 50 things he'd say, but one thing that was constant is every single play there's a coachable moment, even if it's not your position group. If you see something, you need to correct it, you need to coach. Every single play there's a moment that you can find something to coach. So I mean, if you want to just be a fly in the wall, then that's fine. But I mean, if you want to really truly thrive at this job and making these kids better, you gotta coach them every play. So it's not, you shouldn't just be standing around. You should find something to fix or correct, or there's something on it. There's a coachable moment, whatever it is. Maybe you didn't take the right step outside. Maybe your play side step didn't exist. Maybe you didn't use your hands. Maybe you didn't flash your hands on the catch. Maybe you're going to get a handoff and you had your opposite hand up instead of ball side hand up. There's all those little things. There's so many things that you could just see and then just fix everything. There's just coachable moments. So it's just standing there isn't the right thing.
Well, we're going to look at some of the scores that I have up here on the screen. You can actually see them. We have Pono and North Smithfield. Let me play a quick clip from that game. Salute to North Smithfield for being, Pono just coming out of a Super Bowl. They upgrade their staff. They bring Coach Fulton in right away. Anthony Alejandro comes available from Shea. They start to call Coach Cook Jimmy Saban, Mr. Alabama Slammer, picking up these coaches so fast. But let me play a
That's good.
And that was for the win. Ponoganta wins 10-7 with 2 seconds to go of that game. So what is that? It tells me that in a week's work, in a week's time, North Smithfield really has them kids tuned in, and that crowd was electric from what I heard. What does that say about the North Smithfield program right now, Gary?
They're coming back. Hey, it's too bad they dealt with what they did to those poor kids and to that school, and they gave those kids a bad name, but that community will rebound. I think they got the right guy in place. He seems to be doing a good job, and the kids are willing to work, and even though they didn't get the win, they still had a great game against the championship team.
Yeah, I keep congratulating Coach Piva last night when he came on the show. And I'm just so happy that they're back on the field. And I think it's a mean for, congratulations. And Cole Vowles was their player of the game. Let's look at some of the other scores, and I think a lot of people were watching that game to see what Ponagansett was going to bring. Ponagansett, went flying through Division 4 with razor blades attached to every arm, just slicing everything up in sight. The rest of the division, competitive games. So people were waiting to see what Pono brought. So it's going to be interesting to see next week Pono and West Warwick match up.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a tough game. I think it's going to be a tough game for Pono, but they're still going to show up and play. I think West Warwick has got some momentum right now, and they're going to be rolling.
Yeah, and it's crazy because I really believe if West Warwick, if Mike Cisello or whatever if Mike stays, I don't think that defense is out there. I just think that gave him leaving gave them energy, and it is what it is. And I heard from parents, and I hear from kids all the time. And when that announcement came, they felt like a weight was taken off their shoulder, and they made a comment, and I was like, wow, do you feel that strong? He said, 3 kids were going to quit, and now he's gone. They stayed, but so salute to West Pennington and everything he's doing over there. Great win we had Wes on the show the other night, and if he wins this year, salute to him. But I think West Warwick right now is one of them teams in Division 3.
Yeah, no, I think on the B side, I think that they have to be them and Narragansett right away. Narragansett's still the champion until somebody dethrones them. But on that side, you have to put those two at the top right away.
Another team, Moses Brown played Shea. Moses Brown puts 31 up on Shea. Shea scores 6 points. Moses Brown could possibly be another one of them teams. Did they play very, very well, or is Shea just? I know Shea is not a good team this year. They're in their rebuilding process. The AKA head coach should just be the athletic director, do his job. He don't want to let a coach come in and take care of that program. They're not going to run between the tackles, jet sweeps, this and that. But what do you think about what Moses Brown is building?
Well, they had the injury fund game just before us, and I purposely scheduled the busing to get there early so we could watch the game with them versus LaSalle. And I think it was 14-7, and Moses Brown played really good. They got a kid. I don't think anybody looks at them and gives Moses Brown the credit they deserve. And I'm not taking away from the whole team, but they got a kid named Miles Craddock. He's number 5 on that team, and he was a stud last year. He's a stud this year, and between him and there's a couple other kids that probably are underrated, but I could go down the list on kids because I pay attention and I watch film, and I go and I research kids. But that Miles Craddock kid, he's the real deal. People need to start looking at his name. But they're good. They're definitely good. They're one of those teams like the B side. Like, hey, last night Lincoln beat Johnston, and Rogers, the team I thought was going to be right up there. I'm not taking away from them, but Middletown beat them 20-6. So they're still one of those teams that are probably going to be good. But West Warwick, Narragansett, Moses Brown, those teams have to be the teams that are looked at right now on the B side, and then fill in the rest. I'm not sure. I'm not sure who's gonna take over those other spots, but West Warwick, Narragansett, and Moses Brown, those are the top dogs right now on that side.
And there's only 4 spots available, which people are not realizing. There's only 4 spots on each side, and them 4 spots fill up fast.
Yeah, like they do. And I don't know. I don't know who's going to win, because any team can win any given day, any given week. But you got to give credit to those 3 teams right now on that side, because I thought Rogers was one of those teams, and they very well could be. But Middletown's very good. Middletown showed it last night, and
yeah, Middletown showed up.
Lincoln won 40-14 against Johnston last night. So yet again, they're good. There's good teams in Division 3. And I know the A side's not supposed to be the strong side, but hey, A may be stronger than B. I don't know, but I think it's going to be awesome football when playoffs come. It's going to be awesome to watch. I think it's going to be really competitive football.
No, it is. And the alignment aside, I'll still say the alignment's shit. The alignment's ass. But the alignment aside, I think there's going to be some great football games. Johnston brings in former Bishop Hendrick and QB Zach Laverne to be their offensive coordinator. So congratulations to Zach. Westerly wins over Charahoe 33-21. EP puts up 47 against Pilgrim, and I talked to Blake earlier, and Blake said, I like to go against the dogs early. I want to play a high caliber team. I bet your phone's probably going low, huh?
Maybe hold up. Is it better now?
Yeah, there we go. I kept hearing a little bit, because usually when the phone starts going low.
No, it shouldn't be. I don't know what's going on, but
I talked to Blake. He said it was definitely a tough game. EP is very good, and he said Pilgrim made way too many mistakes, and now he's ready to get back to league play. But I think it's good to play a team like that. Portsmouth loses to NK, but they said Portsmouth did not give up that game. NK plus 20 up on Portsmouth. St. Ray's, Tolman, another bad show
Good.
out for Tolman.
I mean, NK is good. The Central. I mean, obviously, we know who Central is. They're good. They got studs. Westerly's good. They're coached well. Cheraho. I think that. I don't know, but I know they got a lot of previous head coaches on their team coaching, so they're probably coached well. Portsmouth, when you lose that senior class and a kid like Ben Hurd, you're gonna lose some dogs there. But NK, I don't think they're giving enough credit straight up. Like NK's got one of the top quarterbacks in the state. Their offensive line isn't huge, but boy, do they play great together. They got sledgehammers in the backfield and they got stud wide receivers. I mean, they play well defensively. It's just NK's good. They're NK. Like they're good. They're what you expect them to be. Their freshman class is really good too. In the future, things are looking really bright for them. I'll tell you that. I didn't see what it was for.
I see lots of laps in the future. Someone commented on the right now another touchdown by the Patriots. Davies up 30-12. Let me put this back up on the screen. This game before we Coach has a lot of film to watch today. He's another one that watches a lot of film.
Maybe addicted.
Yes, hi, I'm Gary, and I'm an addict.
That shit. I wish they had like a huddle, an AA
a film anonymous.
Give me some of that, yeah.
But you have some other scores. Lincoln wins big over Johnson. Cumberland, a big fourth down stop to win the game over Berkeley, 26-24. I think Berkeley was threatening to score, so congratulations to them. LaSalle also wins their game against Curtis. LaSalle played an out-of-state game. Hendricken game is going on right now. It should be starting at 1 o'clock.
Where's that Curtis team from? What was that? Connecticut?
Yeah, they're an out-of-state team. If I told you, I would just be guessing.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I've never heard of that one.
But you could definitely go to NFHS Network has the Bishop Hendricken, Londonderry, and then after the show, we're gonna have Coach Croft on, and we're also gonna have Coach Lazan on again. But Coach Croft is gonna be his debut, Gary. But yeah, there was some great games, and again, Gary, I can't thank you enough for what you meant to the podcast, and every time I ask you to come on, you come on. I just wanted to really thank you, thank Coventry, thank all your coaches, and all your students, because you're always there when we call you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Whatever we can do to help, you're doing a lot of good stuff for the state and for the kids and for football and even other stuff that don't even have anything to do with football. But I know you don't always get the credit, but like I said before, it may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, but you're coming up, and eventually, you're going to be the guy everybody's looking at for the info. And you always have it too somehow. You got all the insider stuff, insider trading.
That's what they don't like. They don't know how I get it, but I get it. I get it sometimes before the people that know get it. You know what I mean? I told Emerson one day, "Hey, bro, what are you doing?" He said, "I'm getting ready for the game." I said, "Don't worry about it. You got the day off." He said, "What do you mean I got the day off? Your game's canceled." He gets a text message like 5 minutes later. He said, "I'll be damned." He said, "Ever since then, he said, and actually, I have a good clip of a video. Not now, but I played it in the past. But I wanted to go over real quick while you were up here. The coaches pick 'em. The coaches pick 'em, Coach Goodhart. You're part of that. I just didn't have a chance to get artwork of you. Well, look at this guy. Tell me he don't look like the guy from Footloose. Yeah. Tell me you don't look like the dude from Footloose. So some of the coaches, we're gonna get after all the games. I'll have all the stand-ins up, and each week we're gonna compare the stand-ins. Salute to you for getting involved in this. Salute to Coach Dunbar, Coach Washington, Coach Blake. Come on, Coach B-Ball. We're waiting on you. Stop worrying about what people think. Yeah, West Pennington, is involved. So look at West Pennington. Come on. Where you
Did he
gonna
make
go
that?
and get
He's a
this?
good
Huh?
artist. Wes is a good artist.
He sure is. But West Warwick, Lincoln. So he gets them, bang, 2-0. He loses. He goes 2-1 right there. 3-1. Let's see, 4-1. He got Westerly. There's 5-1. And I think he might have picked Rogers. So as of right now, let me get the banner out of it. I think Coach Benson is 5-2, maybe. Yeah. And we'll see what happens with the Woonsocket game. Let's see what else do we have here as far as Mikey Washington. He goes with West, Cranston West to Lincoln. So right there, you 1-1. Pano got that one. NK Central CF PCD Westerly Woonsocket in Middletown. And if you're a coach, you want to get involved in this, man. I send you the picks every week and just text them back to me. I would rather you text them to me so I can have a record of week 1, week 2, week 3. If you call them, I'm going to write them down in my 7 notebooks, and I can never find the notebook because I got 7 of them. Like, I'll write in one notebook. Can't find the damn thing. But anyway, Coach Dunbar. Salute to Stan. Stan said he was involved in a 3-hour game last night. I said, how was it? You really want to know, Mikey? I might get suspended. I said, oh, yeah, nah, never mind. But Cranston West, Lincoln, Pano, North Kingstown, Central CF, PCD, Westerly, Woonsocket, and Middletown. So let's look at who Coach Goodhart had. But no artwork for Coach Goodhart. We're waiting on the art department.
Yeah, you gotta find a good artist.
There we go. West Warwick, Lincoln, Ponagansett, North Kingstown. Right there, you're like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-0. Heading in just the top half of the schedule, Coach Goodhart. Then you had Central Falls, PCD, Westerly. That puts you at 6-0. Woonsocket, Middletown wins 7-0. And we're still waiting for the outcome of the other games, Coach Goodhart.
Come on, Central Falls and PCD, don't let me down.
I gotta stay on the mic. Can't hear 50% of what you're saying. All right, thank you. I really appreciate that. All right, but yeah, so Coach Goodhart has, West Warwick, Lincoln, Pownell, North Kingstown, Central Falls, PCD, Westerly, Woonsocket, and Middletown. So right now you're like 7-0, Gary.
Yeah, I was feeling confident about this one. I had some insider trading myself.
You said I had some insider trading.
They're trading me the answers.
Check out some more of this game. 30-12 right now. Davies up over EWG. EWG started off 12-8. What was that? 12-8. EWG starts off. And now we have a 30-12 score. A salute to Digital Reel for this game.
This one's almost over.
Yes, and definitely check out the NFHS. Come back after Gary. We're going to have Coach Croft. We're going to have Coach Jim Lazan from Londonderry, New Hampshire. We're going to have Coach Blake up in here, talking about his game. I was joking around. I said, I forgot to send you and Coach Blake a thing last night, an invite, and I apologize, but I was joking. I said, if you put 40 up on, if you get 40 put up on you, you should get a pass.
I said I thought you were mad at me.
So yeah. You said I was crying.
Yeah, you maybe.
Or you were crying.
Forgot about me. I was like, I guess I don't matter anymore. Just that freaking guy from Maine. Just that little Frenchman from Maine.
That little fricker.
Yeah.
How about the Central High School game? Central puts 44 up on EG, which we seen coming, and they even give EG 2 points. They snapped the ball right in the end zone, and I got a feeling Central's going to be doing a lot of snapping today for practice because they snapped the ball right in the damn end zone. They give EG their only 2 points of the game. You know, respect to
Yeah,
Coach George.
EG. I think they're gonna have a little bit of a tough season. I think they had an injury in one of the in the preseason game. Not the preseason game. I'm sorry, the scrimmage, and I think that injury is gonna be devastating. But they have a defensive end and like tackle slash tight end. That kid is a mean sob. He plays exactly how you'd want a kid to play on your football team. I'll tell you that. He's probably gonna be an underrated kid, but he's a violent, mean, nasty kid, and gotta love it.
So who's Coventry have coming up this week?
We got Tollgate Friday night.
Oh,
Ah,
Tollgate, that team, you see teams like this. Do you look at games, you still don't want to sleep on them, but it could be a trap game. Do you consider, do you ever go, because Tollgate right now is very, very, like, they're not playing good football. They're not, I don't know if they're not coached well. They get the URI coach. He comes in late. I mean, still not many excuses that you can have. They have a lot of kids in that program. How do you
uh,
go into a game like this preparing your kids not to overlook the the team?
we got 40, 43 total kids on our whole team, and they got like 60. So they got more kids than we do. So they're on the way up. They're trending up. They got the kids. It's just gonna take some time. But for us, I think in all of Division 3, every single game is a playoff game because it's a tough division. There's tough teams, and everybody wants that good playoff spot. So if you sleep on a team, if you don't prepare for a team, like it's really a playoff implication game. I think you're screwing up because every game has to matter, especially for even it doesn't matter if you're the top 4 teams and you think you're the top 4 teams and you don't prepare. Well, that number 6 team and they're ready to go. Well, all of a sudden they're that 4 team. So for us, preaching to the kids. I mean, we practice this morning. We practice every Saturday morning. Win or lose could be the greatest win or the worst loss. We're still practicing, and this morning we're just preaching. Every game's a playoff game. Like you got to have that mentality because if you don't play, like it's a playoff game, then you're gonna get bit in the ass in November, and then you're sitting at home crying, and you don't want to be the team playing constellation games. You want the teams playing in playoff games.
Oh, you're absolutely right. You look at SK and Narragansett last night. There was some crazy PI penalties that went on, but you had number 10 S Kingstown coming in, playing number 14 Narragansett. Narragansett's just coming off a Division 3 championship where they win a Super Bowl. And SK has talent, but their coaching is what I hear most that they have problems with. And SK comes out of that game with the W.
Hey, Narragansett is the champion. Like, hey, they got interviewed. Like, they asked who do you think the team to beat is. Well, until you beat the champion, they're the champion. I said earlier, I'm a wrestling fan, and Ric Flair always said to be the man, you got to beat the man. And right now they're the man. So until somebody takes them off the pedestal, I mean, it's theirs. They're the champion. Everybody's got to go through them. So and they're a good team. They got Makai Wilson. I think that's his name, the running back. He is big. He is strong. He is fast. He is violent. And boy, is he athletic.
Oh yeah, definitely. SK, Brandon Boomer. They have some players. And the way Narragansett's been, I think Narragansett could be a competitive Division 2 program, and if they have another season like they had last season, you could definitely. And who knows? Like just because they said it'll be a 2-year realignment, that don't mean there won't be a
A real
realignment come this upcoming season. We already know that. And if Narragansett puts on another showing like they have the last couple of years, they will be in Division 2.
Hey, they're good. They're coached well. Their head coach got to have a lot of respect for him. He took over. I mean, I went to the Newport coaching clinic, and he had his own little session there, and I enjoyed listening to him talk. he talked about, you know, how when he took over, you know, the program wasn't, you know, doing too great, and then he started making some changes and implemented a new offense and started, you know, trying to get some of the kids from the basketball team. And once the basketball players started playing, then their team kind of took off. And when you have great athletes on your team, you should be able to win some games. And you know, he's got the right system in place, and he obviously knows what he's doing. He's a good coach, and I don't know him personally, but you know, he's I got a lot of respect for him and what he's doing.
I actually think I have a couple clips from the SK game. Gary, while I'm looking for this, tell us about you know, your scouting guys. Who would you pick for a scout player of the week?
On my team, I would pick Jermaine Steven Sweet. He's a freshman. I don't know. He never played football before. He's not the biggest kid on the team, but this kid comes to practice every day, and he I don't think he knows any better. I think he only knows how to go 100 miles an hour and to try to absolutely annihilate anybody in front of him, which you got to love, especially when it comes to football. And, you know, being a kid who's never really played before, he's got a really high ceiling because he comes in and he tries to, you know, devastate our first team. And I love it because he gives our offensive line fits. We put him at the end and just make him just completely, you know, flabbergast the tackles, and he does it. He puts moves on them. He makes them look silly. He gets to the ball. He makes plays. He pisses everybody off, and you gotta love that. So I'd say Jermaine Steven Sweet, and then other than him, probably Mason Martin. He's a junior. He started for us last year. He's another defensive end, and you know, just having those kids just giving everything they can to our offensive tackles. They if our offensive tackles are playing well, that means our offense will thrive. So if we can have those guys continue to do that, our team will be pretty good.
Let me see if my son, my assistant, has that video ready. Erica, you can talk. Do you have that video queued up? You know, Gatehouse Media is struggling, the Journal's struggling, so we gave my son Erica a part-time job over here. So hold on.
Let's go, give it to Monty. Let's go. Get the fuck in there. Get the fuck in there. Let's go, give it to Monty. Let's go. Get the fuck in there. Get the fuck in there. Let's go.
Yeah, so we had some film. I was telling parents, you know, send us in film after the game, and I'll definitely, you know, put the film up. But I like SK's chances in Division 2. You know, there's some good teams in Division 2, some good teams in Division 3, Coach Goodhart. But until we meet again, thank you. Appreciate you coming on the show. Like I said, I couldn't do it without coaches like yourself. And you already know the only place to go for your football information.
Hey, absolutely, Mikey. Thanks again. Thanks for what you're doing around the state and for all the coaches and, you know, standing up for us when we don't have the voice. So, hey, good on you and keep doing what you're doing.
There you go. All right, Coach Goodhart. Thank you. Appreciate it. Good luck, Okies, man. I look forward to talking to Coach Goodhart and other coaches around the state. And we'll get your week 2 games coming up this week. Thank you, Coach.
All right. Thank you, Mikey. Have a good day.
Awesome to have Coach Gary Goodhart, part of the Can We Keep It Real podcast. Thank you, everybody, for being part of the show. I really appreciate it. Behind me, you see the Bishop Hendricken Field. We're going to have Keith Croft up after the game. We're also going to have Jim Lazan. He's the Londonderry, New Hampshire high school football coach. He's going to be on after the game. You know, and send me in film, send me in scores of the game. We really appreciate it. Eric, you got any words you want to say? You shy? All right. Well, my assistant, my son Eric, you know, helps us out a lot. You might have seen him before.
Listen, no one's going to give you more coverage. No one's going to be at more games. No one's going to be more informed. I'm not just some guy sitting in his basement spouting off about who's winning games and who's doing what. We're real. The rebellion is real. Providence Journal coverage is going to be real this year. It's almost here, 3 days away.
Now deal with it. We see what happened when the last dude tried to. Yeah, I bet he probably went home and cried too. I chucked the line in the cafeteria. Lunch lady gave me a bowl of gravy, some mashed potatoes, and real with it. So ill with it, I think I need a medical leave. I got my foot on their neck and I ain't letting them breathe. He say he nicer, but he ain't never said it to me.
I kind of like that. The Division II protection program. You know, let's look at some of the smart, great things that my son Eric over here that I was forced to help out.
Division I was named after a player. If you call it the Quiddy Pay Division, nobody would be chirping about this. The administrators don't want to do it. So a lot of people want a bigger Division I. The bigger problem, I think, is that the fact that they named these divisions, Division I, II, III, it would be easier to understand, easier to take, and you would go with it. So,
she's dumb. Like, if you would call it the Quiddy Pay, like, respect the Quiddy Pay, but there's people that are legends in this sport. He said if you would name it after people, nobody would care. The alignment was horrible from the beginning.
To mention that, you know, I somehow could have prevented this thing. How could I possibly prevent Classical from going to Division III? You know what I'm saying? They could have simply just split Division I up again, like we talked about in the coaches meeting. And this is another problem. I'm sorry if I'm ranting right now, but
no, please go, because we all want to know, and I think it's only fair that we all know, because a lot of people are puzzled. The Power Four, the Power Four, right, is not what we have now, correct?
Correct.
A lot of people think the Power Four is what we have now. No, the Power Four, we no longer have the Power Four. It's just one division.
Teams that are Division II teams, Division I and a half teams, and they're the ones who are going to compete. If you look at that Division II, and I hate calling it Division II because it really is Division I and a half.
You've been warned, all right? Let's move forward amicably.
Okay. From 5 to 18, that's a competitive division. Build. They're not going to do it overnight.
Not done, because I had nothing to do with it. I didn't put these schedules together, but we got the RIIL schedules, man. Shut up.
East Providence, they're 17th in this ranking system. With the right coaching in place, the right systems, and the right promotion, East Providence in the next 5 years should be one of the top 5 teams. There's no excuses not to, other than, are you putting in the work? Are you?
You suck.
Doing what's necessary for your program to succeed. That's what it comes down to. And if you're doing this, you're going to win more games than not, and then there is no reason to complain. Anyone who's in any of these divisions should be worried. The only thing you should be worried about is competing. How can I compete? It shouldn't be, well, we can't compete. Because if you're saying that and that's your reasoning, what are you doing? Why are you coaching? We're in the wrong division. Why? Why? Because you can't win? Why can't you win? Division III. So for everyone is so hyped up about Classical being in Division III. Again, this isn't Division III. They're basically still in Division II.
You're a moron.
Because Division I is still giant. So Classical, over the last 6 years, and I remember covering some of these teams because they struggled.
You full of shit. You understand that? You full of shit.
Classical obviously won the Super Bowl last year. They were a very good team. So they went 3-1 that spring, playing in Division III.
And, you know, they're trying to say people agreed on it. Who in Division II, the new Division II, agreed to no Division I and just one championship? Like, that doesn't even...
5-2 last year, won Division II.
One and just one championship. Like, that doesn't even sound right.
What were they the previous years in Division II? They went 3-4, 2-5, 2-5, 2-4.
You know what I'm saying? Because it makes no sense that we have
maybe it's harder for them to compete in a real Division II, Division III.
One Division I, a huge Division II, or huge Division III.
Could they be there? Yeah, they absolutely could be there, but they're not.
You've been saying this realignment.
Pointing, oh, Classical's doing this. They set this up so that way they could win titles. No.
Benefits a few people on the board, mainly, and I think that's the end of it.
Oh, they want to win titles like anybody else,
and I think that's the end of it.
All these teams, this Division III is going to be competitive from top to
Division
bottom.
II agreed to no Division I and just one championship. Like that doesn't even sound right. So, like you've been saying, this realignment benefits a few people on the board, mainly.
That's it, benefits who? Who does the realignment benefit? You see it in the scheduling. What else do we have down here? The best of Rubes Cubes, we'll call it. Let's see. The best of Rubes Cubes.
Hope it's worth all.
Then he made fun of me and how much money I make, which was hilarious because he was way off. And I just thought it was funny because he was wearing like New Balance dad shoes. Meanwhile, I got a pair of Jordan Lows on, and he's like, he's making fun of me. So,
I feel like a billboard because the Lord has so many eyes.
Hendrick and LaSalle, no surprise. Central and North Kingstown are the Division I teams. And I don't think that is a
Why
shock.
don't you opt up into Division I? I think it's pretty simple. But again, everybody keeps bringing up LaSalle and Hendricken. Well, don't complain about it then. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to play them. I want to play them. If that's the case, don't get mad now because, so it's just, again.
Division 3B, Mount Pleasant, Mount Hope, West Warwick, Pilgrim, Narragansett, Rogers, Johnston.
Yeah. He said Mount Pleasant, Division 3B. He said it.
Division 3B, Mount Pleasant. There is no drop-down game like we had last year, which I don't agree with.
It stinks.
Formula. And everyone likes to bash the formula. I don't like the formula. And I will say this, as much as I hate the 14 division and the problem that the state has is Hendricken and LaSalle, obviously, is that those two teams are vastly, they're better. They're just
agreed
better.
to no Division I and just one championship. Like that doesn't even sound right. So, like you've been saying, this realignment benefits a few people on the board, mainly.
Like who's been saying?
And I think one Division I, a huge Division II, or huge Division III.
Now, Mike's only been coaching. This is only going to be his second year as a head coach. So we'll see how long that it lasts. But
Well, don't complain about it then. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to play them. I want to play them. If that's the case, don't get mad now because, so.
Where is Mike Washington?
North Kingstown has really separated themselves as the state's
only major
premier
50 to
program.
allow Central and NK a chance to
public
play
school
for a
program.
Super Bowl.
They beat Central last year.
So the best of Rubes Cubes, and this is another good one.
At Exeter is very long. Did his knee touch the ground? I don't know.
Most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
To mention that, I somehow could have prevented this thing. How could I possibly prevent Classical from going to Division III? You know what I'm saying? They could have simply just split Division I up again, like.
Well, there you have it, man. We had the best of Rubes Cubes. We brought Gary Goodhart in. We're gonna have Coach Croft on Coach Jim was on from New Hampshire after that game. It's on NFHS. Davies game. How about Davies? Davies, what was it? 30-12. EWG starts that game off. I think the score was 12-8. You could check that game on Digital Reel. We were playing some of the game earlier, but salute to Digital Reel, what they have going on. Listen, you want to be part of the show, promote your business. The Coaches Pick'em Show Thursday night needs a sponsor. You know, you'll get a ticker, you'll get something at the bottom, you know, just like Coach Dunbar gets with Breakthrough Football or Coastal Homes. Coldwell Banker sponsors us. So yeah, definitely help us out. Appreciate it. If you have music, you want us to play, your music is clean, reach out, let us know. You have an event coming up, reach out. And parents, send in videos, and I will definitely play the videos that you send in of maybe touchdowns. You know, college recruiters definitely watch the show. They come on the show. You know, and also big shout out to the Air Force that we partnered up with. United States Air Force Sean Priest will be on the show. We will also be nominating players. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. We're also going to be nominating players to receive awards with the Air Force. So, yeah, definitely tune back and keep watching because, you know, we have no schedule. We just, you know, Thursday nights, coaches pick them, which I think that's going to be a great show. We're going to have coaches picking out of 10 games. And right now, Coach Gary Goodhart is going for a sweep. I think he needs CF, PCD to play well, you know. So, yeah, a lot of great games. Middletown wins. Lincoln surprised a lot of people, I think, with a big showing over Johnston. You know, so we'll wait the outcome of a lot of games. And if you have scores, send them in. Inbox them. I will always post your scores, information you get. If you get a tip, something that's going on, if you feel that the school is not handling something correctly, if you think a coach is not handling something correctly, if you're a student athlete and you feel that you are being done wrong and nobody will listen to you, we'll listen to you. And it's not even about blasting you all over. You know, we just want to reach out because we're in a tough environment right now. But yeah, tune in after. We're gonna have Keith Croft on after the Londonderry at Hawks game. Gonna be his debut. And big shout out to Dola Design. I still gotta get the website, but Dola Design, custom made home decor. You can reach out to Blizzy Blake for more. So Dola Design, Warwick, Rhode Island. I appreciate everybody's support. And I'll end this with a little bit of, end this with a little video. Let's see, where are we?
Let's go, come take a ride through my city life. See what my city's like. It's the city life. For some, it's a shitty life. This is city living, mostly them city children. From my bedroom, see the lights of them city buildings. Ain't gotta act hard, private's my backyard. I run road out, you can call me a track star. And we a team, homie, all is one. I don't sleep until all is done. I ain't ruckus, so please don't call me Mr. 401. It's Mr. Rags, you can call me. I'm still in that 401. From where we was, look at all we become. For what it's worth, I put my all in the sun. Know that my city love it. My city's budget, about my city's public. Know how my city does it.
Get ready, it's coming. You hunting or you running? Get ready.
I'm here. I mean, think about it. If we didn't have all this crying, and you can't say there's not a lot of crying going on. We can't be competitive.
We just can't do it. These young guys, they're working all year long. You got to see them. We can't do it. I'm just kidding, man. But, yo, shout out to the young coach. I mean, because you know what? These young coaches, they're putting in work all season long. You talk to them now, whether it's 2 months ago, 3 months ago, they're doing installs. They're putting plays together, at least the coaches that I talk to, but I don't really. Wins, not everybody, the older coaches. They want to cry. They want to go to these RIIL meetings, and they want to cry. We're not competitive. We can't do this. I can't be in.
Let's go, come take a ride through my city life. See what my city's like. It's the city life, for some it's a shitty life. This is city living, mostly them city children. From my bedroom, see the lights of them city buildings. Ain't gotta act hard, private's my backyard. I run road out, you can call me a track star. And we a team, homie, all is one. I don't sleep until all is done. I ain't rucking, so please don't call me Mr. 401. It's Mr. Rags, you can call me, I'm still in that 401. From where we was, look at all we become. For what it's worth, I put my all in the sun. Know that my city love it, my city's budget. About my city's public, know how my city does it. Let me handle my city business, then I ride you outside of them city limits.
Promotion any illegal activities. All content provided by this channel is meant only for educational purpose only.